There you go, guys. Something a bit different tonight. Hey, where are we? We're in the sewing room. Sewing room? What are you on about? Well, I went and bought a sewing machine. Pretty flash one to do with leather. So that we can do our interiors. So what we did, I took some paper and made a little template of our door cards. We're going to make little door cards. Alright, simple. Sat that on the material, traced it out. How hard? So here's our material. And this was a seat. It's going in one of our other, was in one of our other cars that I've cut and changed and reupholstered. You'll see that eventually. So there's our trace line marks. I don't know if you can see. They're on there. About 15 mil, half an inch, 15 mil inside. So that's our template. And then we allow 15 mil. We cut 15 mil wider to give you your sew allowance, I call it, because we're going to fold that. So that green line is basically our outer edge. So we're going to fold that over like so, and then sew along there. And that will be our door card. We're not putting, it's got foam backing. Should look alright, I think. I've only got, it's got white stitching. I've got black hooked up. I'm doing it in black, I don't care. So, anyway. I haven't sewed for a while, so let's see how we go, eh? This is a walking foot machine, so this is a pretty flash machine. About as good as you'll get. Tell you the truth. Now, I might sew it this way, I think. So our foot's up at the moment. We'll put that in. Now this got a clutch basically, so I've got to put a little bit of foot pressure on to release the clutch. We'll just hand crank it in, get the needle in the material. Right, we'll drop our foot down. Now that foot will walk like that. This is like pretty badass machine. This will pretty much sew anything. Now I'm going to pretty much sew on my line, which is going to probably make it 5 mil smaller than the line, but by the time that should work. Trust me. Alright, so this is our forward reverse here. So we can actually hand crank a couple of stitches in. You don't have to, because this thing will go fast. So we just hand crank a couple in forwards. Then we'll put a couple in backwards. Now we can do this, but I'm just doing it to show you how you can do it. So what our logic was, instead of, sorry Mr. Upholsterer, but instead of paying for an upholsterer, we went and bought the machine. Now I don't know what much it was. 700, 1,000, I don't know. But this will do anything. This is like top of the range. Now I've got this really slow because this thing will just eat this up. And so you can adjust your speed with your foot control down there. Now see this here, because remember this was a seat. So we've got our old stitch there. Now when we fold that, it's going to give us grief. So we're going to just cut that down. Cut that bit out. Hopefully that's better. It folds over a bit better. Now, as this walks, it pulls the material itself, and it will pull your fingers in. So you just basically got to guide that you're going straight. Now, I don't know if I like it like this. We'll run this to full length and I'll see what I think. Because we're sewing the good side of the stitch on this side, aren't we? I'm going to have to give it a bit of a hand here. Just because the foot doesn't like that big fatness there, that's there. Right, we're over there. Cutting that excess off. Like I said, we'll get this across and then we'll work out what we like, if we like that stitch or not. I had to tell it, you just didn't know I had, didn't it? Now when you get to the end here, see this is our forward reverse, remember? We walk up to the edge, then we reverse, we go forward, reverse, and then needles up, foot basically off because this thing is dangerous. Release our foot, pull the material back, we can cut our threads, boom, and there's that done. So now what I was getting at is we've got like what you would normally have as the back there on our edge, so it's whether I like that or whether I would prefer that stitch. Now we can adjust our stitch lengths and everything with this, so I'll have a little look at what I want to do and then I'll adjust the machine and then we'll go from there. I'll come back in a minute when I've done a bit more. So yeah, pretty basic. The other thing you'll see before I go is there's our line, there's our line. So yeah, we cut the corner. Okay, very simple stuff, guys. I'll make these up and I'll come back. Alright guys, so you can see the needle there. Now I'm just going to wheel the handle here and push that needle in where I want it. Like you see now, that's pushed in, so that's called setting the needle. Then we at the back here we've got a little handle to drop down our foot, and also down the bottom here on my leg I've actually got one that I can use my knee to lift it up with. Now needle's in. Right, so now we can either hand crank a couple of stitches in, or as a beginner, which is what you could do, or more experienced, you can just now gingerly, because by pushing your foot down, speed changes of course. Now this is our forward reverse, remember, so now we push it in reverse, go back, and then go forward again, and now that is, our stitch is like, I've basically like done a knot at the end so it won't unstitch itself. So now that little line you seen me put on a minute ago, that's just to give me a fold mark. And then I'm just going to come in and stitch along here. Easy peasy, eh? Now the same here. Because this has been joined, see we've got all this excess. So we're always, no matter what machine you got, you're going to have trouble there. So we're going to cut that out. Now all of this stuff, these, you know, just leather scissors. $1,000 I reckon it cost me to set all this up. But you don't have to buy this machine, you can go get a much cheaper machine. One of those old antique ones work pretty well. So now see where we cut that. It's nice and flat now. It's a lot flatter than what it would have been. So you just got to hold the material at the back here, pinch it together in two pieces, and then just the machine will pull the material through. So we just got to guide it so that we're following straight. And then the same, we go backwards and then forwards, and then we can we got to use our foot pedal to engage the clutch so that we can hand crank it, so we can lift it up, and then we can use our leg to pull it off. You know, it's not perfect, but it didn't cost us 20 grand either at the upholstery shop. We can change our stitch length as well. We can do whatever we want over here. We've got 1 to 10, so that's basically 1 to 10 mil. That's how big we can do our stitches. Now whenever you change your stitch length, you've got to adjust all sorts of stuff on your machine. And we've got an issue here, I think. Yep. So there you go, there's an issue. Right, well, you just would have watched me sewing. Yes, so go back around the other side, unless I can. I'm going to go get your arm over here. This is what we made. It goes that way. Boom. Now this was an old seat out of my 32 hot rod, which I redid. So these were just basically little mats that I was using when I worked on the cars. So there are door trims. Hey? What do we reckon of that? See? Grey? Great. And that's going to go something like that. Check that out. So in a second we're going to work out how to get them off, and then we're going to screw that onto there. And then I think the interior is looking pretty damn cool. Right? So that's what we're going to do. We're back. Alright, let's do a quick walk around, eh? See where we're at. So, what do we got to do? What haven't we got to do? We still got to look at the headlights. We haven't looked at them at all yet. Got to flush and check that radiator. We still haven't looked at the motor. I don't know if we've seen this. This is our overflow bottle we come up with for the radiator. So we've got to hose that up. Pretty easy. We still got to do something for our battery. But I have an idea for that. We still haven't wired, we haven't got, there's still a lot to do. But we've got mirrors. Oh, you might not have seen this. Little patch panel I made. Bolts. I was going to mount the batteries under there, but I'm not sure I'm going to now. I actually have a surprise for you with what I'm doing on that. Hopefully it will work. And I'll come back here. I tried something. I didn't like it. I don't know, tell me. I think it doesn't look right. I was checking out some HQ wheels. They're actually off a Jag. For all you Jag lovers, they're Series 1 Jag. That's for another build. Haha, yeah, another one. Which I haven't even shown you yet. So they're off of another build. But I thought I'd try them because Holden and Jag are the same style pattern. So we put us out a little, I don't know what I put on there, some skinnies on the front anyway. And there's a set on the back here as well, which I still think don't look right. Of course they don't, but it was to give me a visual. I do have a set of fat stock rims, Holden rims. 8-inch 14 by 8s. 14 by 8s, and I was going to put them. Hey, all you old school people, check them out. So I was going to run them on the rear, is what I was trying to do, and run Holden rims front and back, but I just don't like it. Even if they were fat, I don't know, I don't like it. So yeah, we're going back to the Beamer wheels because they just look so much better. Right, we've got the fuel tank. Is all mounted. We'll go around. We've got the light bar done. Light bar's done, needs wiring. Here, it's a snippet. Wait, what are we doing with that? It's a little surprise. That's going to come up soon. Here we made this. Made this up for our fuel filler. Ha ha ha! How cool is that? Hey, I like that. Obviously this is the same varnish I used inside, which is a bit like a grey wash, but I obviously mixed the batch up a little bit too strong there and got a bit too much grey in it. But yeah, there's our fuel tank mounted. So we've got to wire up that fuel pump. And we've got one fuel line down there and one there, and we've got to go to get a new one of these. Of course, I've got one out the back, and there's our other line. So that's all pretty easy. Got our fake fuel tanks, which I have an idea for, which I think we're going to do. Seen in here. New door handles, about to put the cards on, our floor's done. So overall, we haven't touched it for about 2 weeks. We are motoring along okay. Today I'm going to do a little bit. What are we going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But anyway, that will all be probably in a different video. This is just a little walk around of where we're at. We'll swap these wheels around. In this one, we'll swap these wheels around. And we'll see what else I come up with. Alright. Now, I think that's where we're at. There's a bit going on. There's something else going on over my shoulder for a different project. Oh, and there's stuff on the bench behind you for a different project. we got that, different project. We got our chassis out there, different project. It's all, you know, we got lots and lots happening. But on this, there's a quick walk around of where it's at. So it's actually waterproof now. Interior's nearly done. We've got a fuel tank. I think it's nearly, we've got like a little bit to do, and then it is nearly time to fire up that motor. So our main thing is still steering wheel and pedals. That's our only issue really, steering wheel and pedals. Once I've got that sorted, really drivable. Still got to mount the cab too, yeah. I've been slack, I haven't gone to the metal shop. It's not a big job. So anyway, enough of me talking malarkey. We'll see where we go. Okay, we're going to try to take these door handles off. What are they called? Window winders. So, I don't know if you can get in there and see that. Now, see this little notch there. You see that? Let's see if I can get you in there close. Oh, I don't think I can. No, I'm going to have to just go. Oh, that's about the best I'm going to get. You can see that little notch just there. So I'm thinking that has something to do with it. So I've got this little pick tool. What I'm going to try to do is poke that down in that little hole. There you go, can you see that? I think you can see that. Right, we've got that in that little hole. I'm just going to push on it. It's pretty hard to do one-handed. I'm going to push on that, and I reckon there's a little, here we go. Look at that. That come off that quick, you didn't even see it, did you? Hey, how good was that? So, if we look here. Right, so there was our little slot. And if we look in nice and close in there, see that there? Well, that pushes in. So, when we put our little tool in the slot there like that, and we push it, see that? Boom. That's what holds it in. How groovy. How groovy is that? Why didn't they keep that mechanism going? They did these stupid clips later on in life. Where's that? It's the best one I've seen. Anyway, we're going to give that a clean. We'll give that a clean while we've got it off. We'll give this a little clean. We might throw a little bit of grease in there or something. Bit of inox anyway. Some inox in there. While we're there, we'll throw some inox on that too, I think. And now we can look at screwing on our door card. Reaper. You know, pretty simple here, guys. What we've got is we're going to put that door card on. Of course, that's what you're looking at. Now we're just going to use some normal little flat washers, eh? For now, we'll get the proper little curvy little ones next time I go into town. Just looking for a screw. Alright, so we're just going to put a few random screws to hold this, which is how they did it back in the day. We've got holes in there already. Just punch a little hole. I'll do this one here first, no? Just punch a little hole in it. So somewhere, put it in the meat, something like that, I reckon. Boom, straight through. How easy. Grab our screw and our flathead. We've grabbed some flatheads. We're going to try to do them all with flatheads if I've got enough, because that's what they used to use back then. Anyway, ain't nothing fancy, guys. Okay, check that. That's what we're doing. I honestly hate flathead screws, to tell you the truth. Hate them. But that's what we're going to use. Anyway, just like that, we'll tighten this first one up. That's going to be our card.
Another one there. Another one there. We'll get that one in. I don't know if we'll get that bottom one in. We'll see how we go. Might have to drill a couple of holes down the bottom. That's it. How hard? I'll do that to both sides. We've got to put a little hole here. Got to cut a little hole here. I wonder if I should stitch that. Something to think about, isn't it? I'll think about that. I've got to cut a hole there for the window winder. Wonder if I should run a stitch quickly inside around there. I'll have a think about that and work out what I'm going to do, and we will be back when I've done it. Alright, well, there we go. What do we think? Is that all right? What's going on with that one? Bit stiff. What do you reckon? That's probably really loud, wouldn't it? Haha, I reckon that's pretty good, isn't it? Let's wind this down. Why are you playing games? Playing games. What do you think of that? I'm trying to get you. Why do you get this stupid camera? I was always zoomed in too hard. It's pretty groovy, isn't it? Now, I'll show you. Up. So I think we'll be floor shifting it. So we've got a little, this is a Suzuki Swift center console, cut down. We've got the handbrake, we've got to cut it down. We now got cup holders. We'll have that wide up. You know, you got to drive the bloody thing, so that's what I'm thinking. And then just we'll do something like that. Couple bits of wood there. And then we have our little leather boot thing. And then I've got something, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Up here. Now, if... Ooh. Okay. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for that episode, guys, because we're probably getting long on the tooth. I think we turn the interior. I think we're looking good. So we've this all got to come out. This has to be mounted. The handbrake has to be adjusted and mounted, and we will cut up a Swift door, I'd say, and we'll weld in the back piece. I reckon that's what we'll do next episode. We'll do the console and the back. We'll try to knock the interior off completely, or well, close anyway. That's what we'll do next. All right, so. Like we say, you got to subscribe. Doesn't cost nothing, guys. Doesn't harm you in any way, shape or form, but it really helps this. So, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff,
And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, and don't forget, like, comment and share.